Way down in Georgia, there lives a strange collection of people. But the tie that binds them is Wrasslemen. And they love to sit around and talk about it. And that's what they fixing to do. Georgia Wrestling History proudly presents the Wrasslemen, a Whoopcast. We got Shane, Brian, Bill, and two Matts. We got a grandpa too, and old Foot and Shard. Yes, you know they finna get right. Here's the Wrasslemen. They talk about it, Wrasslemen. Live from the smoldering wreckage of what used to be Atlanta, Georgia. We are back. The quarantine is slowly lifting. There are 4 people. We are socially distant enough. Where am I going? Who's off mute? Who's off mute? Brian Blaze. That looks like you. There it is. You just hit the button, Brian. You did it. I saw you hit the button and the echo went away, Brian Blaze. I saw it happen.
It's still echoing.
I knew I should have invited the white participants over here and let y'all be remote because y'all are problematic. But I did not want them out in the streets. It is not safe for white people. Stay home. Myers, you have a cop look to you. Stay home. Shane Marks definitely has a cop look to him, but, you know, we got a lot of things going on. So here's the deal, gang. We mentioned last week or last time, who knows? Time is a flat circle. Doesn't really matter anymore.
The Earth is a flat circle, too.
The Earth is also a flat circle. Yeah. But we mentioned last time that we were going to take a slight break from our format, you know, because that's what we do here. This is essentially a PCW podcast. We will break with formatting anytime we want. We won't be delving into our own shows, and it also sort of as an effort to extend the olive branch, to heal the racial divide currently ripping this nation apart. We're going to look at some of our old matches that might not have happened at PCW, some of our early days. But before we get into the actual video, I do want to talk about the earliest days of our wrestling time, and that's when you had to go to practice. Because I think I've never gone to practice. I've been in a couple practices, but I've never participated. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is it looks like it sucks. So let's just tell some practice stories, guys. Shane Marks, you look like a guy who loves practice. Tell me all about it.
Most practice I've talked about is every time we would Hell Day drills.
You say Hell Date, like when that midget would show up with the spike and the fucking pitchfork?
That would have been a hell of a lot easier.
Yo, Hell Date, take a bump. Hell Day, you were telling me about Hell Day before I went off on a
tangent. We know it's Hell Day when Steve has on a particular hockey jersey.
Oh, God.
And when that jersey's on, it's like, fuck, Hell Day.
What was the jersey? I need to know about the jersey. What was the jersey?
I want to say it's a Red Wings jersey.
Yeah, Red Wings.
Red Wings?
Yeah. Are you sure? You sure it wasn't the New Jersey Devils? That seems more accurate.
It might have been New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, he was a New Jersey Devils guy. It was.
Yeah, but we knew. I mean, he wore this like days in advance. But once he saw that fucking jersey.
Oh, yes, it's the New Jersey Devils. That's Hell Day, yes. Always booking our Stephen Blackman. So what was Hell Day? Because I would have quit.
Well,
just the name alone, I'm like, nah, bud, I think I'm going to do a commentary.
Well, back in the WWE4, they had 3 rings. So the point was, go to the first ring, hit the ropes 10 times, take a back bump. Run to the next ring, which was the hardest ring, hit the ropes 10 times, do a face bump. And the third ring, hit the ropes 10 times, do an ass bump. Then go to Steve's. Steve pins you. If you kick out, he chops you, and you do it all over again.
Why would anybody kick out? Why would that be a thing that would happen?
Pride.
Did it ever happen?
Yeah, so it was all 5 times.
You guys are crazy.
After the first time.
I got as far as 2.
That sounds about right.
So you did kick out once.
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
Maniacs.
I would have kicked out once too.
Brian, did you were so that was the A4, that was the olden days. Brian, was Hell Day still a thing when you came around?
I think we tried it once, but it wasn't the same thing. And
You didn't have 3 rings, so that's issue 1.
And I think it was Jay ran it. I think Steve was there, but it wasn't the same thing.
Okay.
It was just blowout drill on top of blowout drill on top of blowout drill.
And as I'm learning, the blowout drills come before practice often.
I mean, sometimes it's all practice.
It is the whole
Blowout drills for the hell of it.
And that happens for, like, everybody's doing the same. Like, when you're doing these drills, everybody's doing it, right? There is no, like, oh, here's the senior class who's already been through this and they need to work on psychology and that's
No,
no.
everybody.
We're all doing it.
So if your first night of practice just happens to be Hell Day, it's Hell Day for you too.
It'll probably walk you through it, but yeah, it's Hell Day
But
for
still
you.
Hell Day. You definitely ain't kicking out. Myers, you were involved in this. Tell us about your Hell Days.
I remember whenever I first started practicing that I would go and quietly go vomit.
Just a gentleman's vomit.
It
He
was
had
a-
a small handkerchief that he would pull out. He would tie his long hair back in a ponytail and just quietly. And then he would dab softly the corners of his mouth, get a piece of juicy fruit, and get back at it.
Get back
That's not going to cover nothing.
with my parasol.
Myers, did you train anywhere before PCW?
Who was that for?
You.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. Oh, no, I just got in through the improv thing, and Steve was like, you could probably do this. But I almost went to the Samoan school in Pensacola, but I had a buddy who went there, and they were still of the, like, old school nature of, like, you need to quit, and we will make you want to quit. Whereas as bad as Hell Days and all that was, I never got the impression that he wanted us to quit. He just wanted you to be tough.
Be tough. Yeah. And that's the big difference. And I mean, that's a different mentality. And especially after everybody was smartened up, it's, the thing of like getting you to quit seems ridiculous. But hey, I get it. You got to be tough to do this shit because it hurts. And like, okay, let me ask this. When does practice stop hurting?
I'll let you know when it happens.
I think after the first week, I was kind of used to it.
But it still hurts, but you are accustomed to this is how I'm going to feel, and you can get up and function in the morning like a regular person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that
Go ahead,
whiplash
Mars.
for a few weeks. That like where it's hard to move your neck for the first couple of days. And you're like, and you kind of get out of bed and they're like, okay, I just won't move very much. But yeah.
And Bill, we'll come to you because that'll lead right into our thing. So you'll be last. So that thing of like, it hurts like shit when you wake up for the first week. Is it a fight to go back?
Yeah.
Are you having to do a thing every day? We're like, okay, yes, this hurts,
No.
but I want to know how to do this, so I got to go.
I mean, it was just a thing of wanting to do it. Like it was no question. Like, do I really want to? It's like, no, I want to do this.
If you go in with the mentality of I'm going to be fine, then it's probably going to be discouraging.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to go into understanding that this is going to hurt, but I really want to do this.
Ask the referee.
Oh yeah, Grandpa, you certainly came in, and I'm so used to him talking to his neighbor during this. So it is a little different for you. You're learning a different skill set. How was it for you?
No, it's not.
I don't remember any Hell Days like that. Steve wasn't that many of the times I was there, so I skipped most of that.
Question: When?
I asked the questions here, ma'am.
No, I have a question. At what venue did you come in?
He was out of Porter.
That's Grandpa.
Florida.
He comes in every venue.
Yeah.
I came in Porterdale.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you
Okay.
did. Yeah, you
We all
did.
did. Yeah.
Who I think Jay was doing training and maybe a little bit of Fred Everett, right? Or was it all polo?
No, they were both gone by the time I got there.
So it was all polo for most of it, right?
It was all polo, yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna ask this question. Is Marco Polo the best referee trainer we got? I mean, he's got 2 success cases.
2.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, he did train the 2-time referee of the year.
Grandpa.
That's true.
Oh, okay, so you count Grandpa twice.
There's 2 grandpas on this call. So
There are. So, but Grandpa, so you just decide one day I'm going to do this thing. Like it's a different. So the wrestlers of this thing, Brian, Shane, Foot, Jeter, Bill, will probably, your stories are pretty similar. Myers, yours is a little different because you started with the improv thing, but you certainly loved wrestling more than most people have ever done.
Mhm.
Grandpa, you and I loved it too, but like we were just around the business for much longer than before we got into it. What made you say, Grandpa, I'm 94 years old. Today's the day. Like, what was the thought process like when you decided I'm going to fucking do this?
Life is short. brother.
Because I would go to the shows and I would always want to be a part of the show. I enjoyed sitting in the audience watching, but I always want to be on stage. I like being a performer.
Skinny jeans, let them girls see his meat.
Those are not skinny jeans.
He
They
was
just
out there
fit well.
fishing. That's what.
You can stop
They
line.
just
Those are
fit
12
well.
twins.
There it is! Jeter!
He went back
Those
on
jeans,
me.
they're not skinny jeans. They just fit well.
Fit well. So were you trepidatious about like, all right, I'm gonna, because again, they knew us as fans. Were you nervous about it, or was it like, no, I'm gonna do this?
A little nervous because I was wondering how I would be taken. Would I be accepted? Could I do it? Being 94 years old, there was that concern. And then Marco got us there, and he was putting me and Nate through the same things as all the wrestlers would have to.
So you were doing the drills too? Huh.
Yeah.
It literally took Simon to come into practice one day and be like, they don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
I
Steve
remember that too.
wanted the referees and the managers to know how to bump. So
Yeah.
they would go through the same warm up and bumping drills that they want. But then like we started tying up and doing all that other stuff.
Yeah, and it's no reason for it. It's not
Yeah.
and it's counterproductive, honestly, because once you've done all the stuff that a wrestler does, you're just gonna want to be a fucking wrestler because that's fun as shit. So you do have to kind of keep yourself out of that a little bit, or else you're going to go down a different path. And guess what? The world needs good referees too. What did you? Anything in particular you struggled with, Grandpa?
Not really. I enjoyed it all. I was glad when Simon, stopped us from learning all the, the wrestling moves and, stuff he was putting us through and focusing more on refereeing. But I enjoyed it all.
Hang on, Grandpa. There's an old woman trying to cross over a cord right now, and we are very intrigued by it. An elderly black woman is in my apartment, so you might want to come by.
I turned off my video.
What was the thing that you were sort of like your light bulb moment when you realized, oh, I do this, this, and this is the thing that really helps me be good at this?
After the first match, it was Brian Kane versus Marco and DSCW. I remember
You're welcome.
Up through, thank you. With Woody saying he needed a ref, you said, "Hey, I got one. He's green." After that first match, it clicked that I could do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not as intimidating as I thought. It's not as hard as I thought. It's hard, but I'm thinking all kinds of
Watched it
other
so
things
much.
and everything that could go wrong, and it clicked. It's like, I can do this. I got it.
So, Myers, I'm interested in, you came from a performance world already, so you understood the art of performing. And again, your love and knowledge of wrestling was so vast. How did the actuality of learning to be a wrestler line up with what you expected it to be?
Because it's a totally different thing. Because like watching it and doing it was so drastically different. I wasn't scared of the audience, so I didn't have that problem. Because I just was so used to audiences and interacting with them and improv and all of that. But putting together matches and how that all worked and what did like match storytelling mean and all of that, I didn't get it. And it took a while for me to get it. And I still have like moments where I'm like, oh, it just, yeah. So I thought it would be very easy for me, and then it wasn't. So,
and you could have walked in the door, went through a couple trainings, and you could have been a great manager at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to go through all the other stuff of hurting yourself to be a wrestler?
Masochist. No, I really started training thinking I would be a manager. I thought I really did. I was just like, okay, I'll just be a manager and I'll know how to bump if I have to. But then the more, because it was the same thing, like they were just saying, like you had to go through all the shit anyway. So I was like, well, if I'm going to do the 4-corner drill, I'm going to do it anyway. And I was like, might as well just keep doing it. And then it just became like, well, I'll just do one match. And my wife at the time, she was like, you're gonna do it.
Once the bug bites you.
Yeah, I mean, she just knew how my brain was working. I was like, well, I can just do it. And I'll just do one match, and that'll be it. And then it was like, well, I'll just do a thing, and then that'll be it. And so I just kept coming back to it. But it was just supposed to be. I was gonna be a manager.
So, how much like, and I can see where someone who already had a thing that would fulfill the performing bug that all of us obviously have, because we do this thing that is difficult at times. So you already had a thing that allowed you that because you were an actor. Was your mindset going in, okay, I love this thing and I would like to do it once, or did you, what was your big future plan with this?
I didn't really have one. Like I started when I in high school, I was like, oh, I'll take drama because drama will prepare me to be a wrestler. And so that's why I started taking drama classes. And then once I started realizing how big everybody was, and I was really small and still I'm not the biggest guy. And but at that time, it was
number one in our hearts, Myers. Number one in our hearts.
Thanks. But it was like, if you weren't 6'2" back then, in the 80s, it was like everybody was pretty big compared to now, where it's like, well, if I was 5'8", 5'9", that would still be okay. But then it wasn't, and I was like, well, I'm too small, so I won't be able to do it. And then I was like, well, I do like drama, and so I still went through. That's why I went to school for. And but I didn't have a big plan. I by the time I started when I was 30.
Yeah.
So I was 29. Yeah.
There's an old woman back. Don't worry about it.
I heard that.
There's an old zombie just traipsing around my house.
Yeah. Old zombies and space benches.
Brian, what was your? I mean, I know why we all started it, but like, what were you thinking? Like, okay, once I go through all this practice and I learn how to do this, what did you think would come next?
Oh, wrestling.
God damn it! Why do I even bother? Why do I bother?
I mean, I didn't get into it for fame and glory.
Yeah.
I guess it's just one of those things. It's like skydiving for normal people.
Yeah.
It's something that I always want to do, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna get opportunity. Let's do it.
And that's the secret to Brian Blaze. He'll give you a bullshit answer in the beginning. You just keep staring at him. Then he'll say something incredibly insightful. Shane Marks, what was your deal? What is your fucking deal? I've been asking you that for years.
He's gonna say the hose. He's gonna say the hose.
He is.
It's the
I was
Rex.
hopes.
Oh.
For me, with wrestling, it was two things. One,
The
I
bitches.
Riz Apps, brother. Riz
Okay,
Apps.
so 3 things. One, for the serious reason.
Brian, why are you giving us this cleavage shot?
What you talking about?
Look at yourself.
What?
Look at yourself.
What is that?
Just showing your sexy bosom.
What?
One is I want you guys to feel it.
Okay.
So I wanted to reason out, and I thought wrestling was the thing that's going to help me do so. Another one is I just want to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Travel's the big thing I want to do. I want to go to England, Japan, all that stuff. I still do. So that's, and of course,
passports.
3's the rats.
Yeah, 3's a rats. 3's a rats. I mean, Foot, obviously you were in it for the rats. That goes without saying.
Yes.
What? So your story's a little different than theirs. Like you came in at a different spot, and you're a woman. And so did you come in thinking I'm going to be a wrestler, or did you just come in thinking I'd like to be around this and do something?
I got invited by the Bullets to come out, and it was actually me and a coworker, and he was like, "Yeah, I always wanted to try this," and I was the only person to show up to the tryout.
Naturally.
And so,
How'd you know the Bullets?
we all worked at Comcast
Trey
at
cut
the
the
time,
fuck.
and I was just like, Trey used to walk up and down the aisles cutting these promos, and I'm just like, okay,
Okay. Yes.
yes, because that's who I used to,
Hang out with. That's who you
Hang
used to
out
hang
with.
out with.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here.
and now we're here. I went to the show. It was pretty fun. Kind of like Myers, the theatrics drew me in, and it looked like fun. I was like, I can do this, whatever. It's
Shard,
gonna be fun.
Shard, are you with us?
Sure.
Okay, well, shit. So your thing's a little different too, because you're a fucking giant. So how was that experience for you different than everybody else?
To be honest with you, I just wanted to beat people up.
Yeah.
Now, in all honesty, wrestling was just my love from a kid.
Yeah.
When I had the opportunity to get in, it was like, yep. I mean, like I
It
didn't.
wasn't like, yep. It was like, you mother.
Brian started the week before, and Shard has carried that against him forever.
Peter, were people always telling you that you should do it?
Say what?
Were people always telling you that you should do it? I feel like with big people, they're always like, you should be in wrestling or you should be doing such and such.
Some kind of
No, I always got, you don't play football, you don't play basketball.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I don't play football. I'm an MMA pro wrestling guy. So particularly at that time, that's when I was doing all the MMA stuff, just trying to find a way to stay in shape and stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought that it would ever come into play into pro wrestling. We just like stay healthy, stay in shape. And when Brian was like, he met Creed, he's shorter than him. The hell you beat him at? And he was like, I started up. Get me in.
So, Jeter, do you think that if the timeline was a little different, or if you had an option at that point to go full MMA, to do the same kind of training and be in MMA, do you think you would have preferred that?
To be honest with you, no.
Because you love it. Like you are the fight doctor. You and Myers are our fight doctors. Like that's a thing that you love. And I certainly with that size and with your ability and agility, you certainly could have made a go of it.
I could have. Like I tell everybody else, me going into that kickboxing and MMA was just a way for me to stay in shape.
Okay.
Never with the intentions of trying to become an MMA guy, MMA star, fighter, whatever the case. It was really just stay in shape. Because, what's that? Yeah. Because between...
Space looters.
Yeah, pretty much. Because at the time I was helping train the wrestlers at my former high school, and I was just trying to find different ways to stay in shape.
Okay, so obviously, training with Steve and at PCW is going to be a different experience than you would have had anywhere else. Does anybody think that if they had gone with someone else, someone more, let's just say more traditional, less maniacal, less philosophical even, just someone that was a more regular trainer, do you think that you would have turned into the same performer you are now, Shane Morris?
What? No, because my original plan for wrestling was to train with Kowalski, but those plans fell through. So I don't know, to be honest with you. It depends. I guess it depends on the mentality and the philosophy of who was training who.
Yeah.
So I don't know, to be honest with you.
Brian?
Probably not. Like, I remember looking at WWE 4 before, like, I think 2 years before I actually started. But then, like, looking at the class that came out then, I think the only one good was, like, Bill.
And that is what we in the radio business call a segue. Bill the Butcher, my old friend. We're going to be watching some of your matches now. You trained at WWA 4, which Shane started there in the same building, but, you know, things happen. You trained under Mr. Hughes and in a different atmosphere than they did. Tell us about how it was for you guys over there.
I mean, it's weird because I feel like it was normal, but I don't know what normal is because it's not like it, you know. Hughes was real slow and steady. Like, you would get in and he'd tell you move, he would walk you through it, he would have someone show it, and then you would just do it to death. He started with ropes, and then you went to bumping, and then basically you learned by chain. Like, you would start with a hammerlock, go to the top wrist lock, and then you would put them together, and then, you know, just kind of build from there. He was pretty patient, you know. We all know, you've all experienced him. He's a little bit of a character.
He did kayfabe us at a quick trip once. I'll never forgive him for it.
What?
He kayfabed us at a quick trip once. I'll never forgive him.
Yeah.
So what?
But I mean, that's him too. It's not like he ever turns it off.
Were you here already and started training, or did you come here to train?
No, I moved to Georgia to train.
Did you look anywhere else before?
Yeah, I was looking at Earthquake School in Tampa, but then he died of cancer. So,
Brian Blaze, put your fucking hand, put your thumb down. Stop smiling, Brian Blaze.
Why did you laugh?
Because you are pro-cancer, and we all know it. You're pro-cancer, Brian Blaze.
I did not initiate that laugh.
We
That was
know
on you.
what you're thinking.
You son of a bitch.
We know what you're thinking. So, Bill, what was your grand plan for why you were doing this dumb shit?
I just, you know, it was one of those things that, like, as a kid, I always wanted to, and then I fucking figured to do it. And also, honestly, like, thinking back about it, because Earthquake School was in Tampa, which, you know, I grew up in South Florida, so it was like a 2-hour distance. I'm actually really glad it forced me to, like, leave the state, because part of me thinks I never would have.
Well, Florida does. Florida has that way about it.
You would have been Florida, man.
Certainly does.
Oh, you would have been Florida, man.
Oh, God bless.
Bill, how long did it take for Hughes to start doing, like, psychology, or was that the thing you kind of learned on the job?
You know, it's weird. I don't know that we ever had a moment where he was like, here's why you do this. I think when he was training us moves, the way he would have us do them was like with psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And that school certainly changed drastically after Hughes left. I'm not asking for your opinion on what they do now, but I am asking you to wonder if you had been there now, how do you think you'd be different?
I'd be doing a lot of dives.
That's our Bill. Straight up, you'd be clapping over your head on drop kicks. All right, gang.
No, I mean,
would
necessarily
hate
the
that
negative.
guy so
You know,
much.
Hughes trained a lot more old school.
Oh, shut up. You slap your leg on the clothesline that you miss.
Whatever. I be on NXT slapping my leg
You ain't
on a
there
missed
yet.
clothesline.
You'd be counting to 3 on NXT, motherfuckers, what you'd be doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time
And
to get this video rolling. So we are going to walk through 2 of Bill the Butcher's submissions that he did for some of his early matches. There's going to be some audio here in the beginning just because I'm not going to miss a chance to listen to Hughes do some commentary, and it's going to tickle the shit out of me. Ladies and germs, here we go.
Arena. And here's Big Dave.
That Dave Wills.
I believe it is. I think so. Bill, how long were you in wrestling at this point?
Which match is this?
This is I don't know.
This is you and some lady named Amy Morgan, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It looks as if they played the wrong music because Dave just introduced her first, and some music starts playing, and it is Uncle Bill who comes out.
Yeah, no. This was 2 years in.
Okay.
So yeah, we've had a music snafu. Everybody's wondering why no one's coming out. And oh, Frankie, wait for the kick. Bill the Butcher comes storming out like a madman.
Yeah.
Did they give you this gimmick, or did you come up with it?
Mike Knox came up with it.
He's gonna
Oh,
jump
man, I'm out.
Get Knox on the phone.
Hey, Grandpa, come off mute.
Yes.
Look at that referee's pants.
I'm noticing that. Is that Black Mike?
That is actually. That's not what I do.
I was gonna say,
No,
is that
it's
not
Curry.
Montez? This is what he was.
Yeah, it's Montez.
Refereeing.
Oh, that's Montez.
Yeah. He was always referee every time I see a WWE
Yeah.
match.
Montez went on to be a very
Shirt
successful
untucked.
Wrassleman in his own right.
True.
So here comes Amy Morgan from Paris, France, because you know Amy Morgan, that's a Parisian name for sure.
Ami
Morgan.
Morgan.
My name is
Ami
Amy
Morgan.
That's true. She is from Paris.
Legit?
Yeah.
That's
The
your
whole
surname.
thing with this match is that when she came for like 6 months and then she left. And when she came back, it was a new crop of guys, and none of them wanted to touch her. Like, they treated her like glass. And so none of them would have matches with her either.
I would.
So,
He said
in a
nobody
weird
wanted
way,
to
this
touch
is
it.
like my gift to her, because I wrecked her in this match.
Yeah, you did.
But from that point on,
Disgusting about
everyone
watch.
had matches with her. Like, there was no issue anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
actually more proud of the aftermath than the match itself, because there's a lot of fuck-ups in this match that I absolutely hate.
How did these things work as a show over there? Because it was a training school. These were training shows. They were free to get into. It was clearly just an arm of the school to get people working in front of people. How was it? How was it backstage?
Well, so basically, it just mattered how long you'd been there. Like, Hughes would come in and he would make a card, but if you know, like, I'd been there a little while, so I could be like, hey, Hughes, I want to work this person, and he'd be like, okay, cool.
And you and Hughes always, not, I don't know, I'm going to say always, but you certainly have a pretty good relationship.
I mean, as much as a white guy can with him.
Sure. Metal, brother. You connect on metal. Was that, would you say that it was relatively common there, or did he just, have a special shine for you?
No, I mean, I maybe about 50-50.
Okay.
He liked me, but the thing is I didn't hang out with him. I wasn't part of, like, the social group of it.
Damn.
Kimovich.
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
Oh.
I think I saw Bill get a little squeeze in there before he dropped it, too.
I saw that too.
You know he don't like that.
But that might be me just...
That's you. Bill probably was like, ugh, get away from me.
Yeah,
That
I'm a
might just
white
be
girl.
me
I have no
projecting.
interest.
Ew, it's wrong shade.
She's white and French. So that's two things.
Hairy armpits.
Lip
Mhm.
key. Yeah.
God damn it.
See, she tried to put that thing on the back of his neck. He was like,
No, get it out of here.
Okay.
That's
I
good.
can tell you right now, Bill the Butcher called that spot. It's got Bill written all over it. So I'm going to hang myself, and then you kick the shit out of me, and I'll fall like I killed myself. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Anything that wrecks Bill calls. That
Yep.
really is. You're the most giving person.
I mean, I definitely I got it back. So
I'm going to get it all back.
actually, what I would like, Hankins, when I do the spine buster out here, I would like the audio on.
I'll punch it in later. I don't have it. I edited it for this thing, but I can punch it in later.
Gotcha.
Big splat.
Why? Horrible noise.
Yeah, it was real bad. Like they were gonna stop it.
Oh wow.
Woof.
Does she still wrestle? Do you know?
Like a hell of a damn spine buster.
What?
Did she still wrestle?
No, she actually apparently she got some pretty solid like fame in Europe and then just quit.
Hmm.
She was doing magazines and she wrestled a bunch of like she wrestled Paige before she was Paige. There's a match with her with Brittany Knight. Yeah.
There I go.
Oh, monster! And now he looks over his keel. Look at him. He knows what he did. That's what you get for not being black.
What did he look like?
Looking like that? He liked black women. You should be happy he's beating this white woman up.
So, what iteration of you is this gimmick? Is this the first thing you tried, or is this just sort of? Did you come to this some way?
This would be, I would call it the third.
So
I came in and I started just as a Brody clone. And then changed it up a little bit. But the first set was like just the trunks, and I still had boots. And then I started putting like rip shit on and took shoes off.
So
and
you
then what?
You did wrestle with shoes at one point.
Yeah, the reason I didn't is I went up to IWA for a tryout match, and I left my boots at the Hooligan's house.
And you don't want them back after that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was 5 hours away, and so I was like, all right, well, guess I'm doing barefoot. And then I did the match, and it didn't hurt that bad, and I was like, all right, I can do this.
What?
Whoa.
So obviously you didn't have an issue wrestling with a woman, as you mentioned, but like mindset wise, did it change how you approach this thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like every move in this match is me.
Yeah.
I remember explaining it to her.
I don't like what's happening here.
You need speed and mass because otherwise you're not going to be able to hurt me.
Oh,
okay.
Well, that came out really good.
Yeah.
I was terrified. I thought she was going to land in another ring. Also, there's a match going on in the other ring back behind them too.
Oh, because people just
that's the trainees running around because we're doing big stuff.
They're fucking nerds.
They were Def Jam proud.
They were Def Jam crowd. You guys really hate the ring. Just hanging out outside. And we're out of here.
What I like
this is not for the weak.
Oh yeah.
So this is you with another smaller opponent, but this one will kick the shit out of you. John Gresham, Bill, there's a spot that's about to happen right off the gate here. What the fuck are you doing?
That spot is the reason this match happened.
So who wanted to do it?
Me.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. I like it.
I wanted, and I had it in my head for like a year, but no one would do it. Where I was like, because I just wanted to do a thing where, for a minute, I wanted to have part of my gimmick be that I was anti-air, and so anytime someone went to the top, I would just get super frustrated about it.
That's fucking amazing.
It really is. Patriot Missile fucking Bill Butcher is something I'm here for.
He threw him in the ring. That's so good.
You broke your own.
Guys, I'm kind of starting to think Bill's an asshole.
That's a good spot.
Virgin 3 Bill's an asshole.
Certainly. So you're wrestling Jonathan Gresham here.
Get out of there, Montez.
Was, like, he is extremely good now. Was he always sort of a cut above?
Yeah, and he's also, my favorite match is big guy, small guy, and he was undoubtedly the best. I mean, he was the best in there, so he was definitely the best small guy in there. And we always got along really well. We still do, and he's, we just had good chemistry, and so it was always whenever it was me and him, it's a night off.
When did he start writing novels?
Oh, God bless.
Ron Gresham.
Well, at the time, he was Jonathan Davis. He had to change it because of Corn.
And that, folks, is something you'll only hear in wrestling.
That is good.
God, I forgot his last name was Davis.
Also, this is, especially for him and I, this is prime Japan Mark phase. So, yeah, like every single one of those kicks connected, and it's because I stepped into them.
Because you wanted it to.
Yeah, that's just,
And, I mean, oh my God! He said one ring's not enough!
Now drag him out.
Get in there and start counting over.
I need a break.
Oh, this is amazing.
Look at all
Oh,
those
just
marks.
Steve's
This is actually my favorite spot of the match.
Oh!
Did you just blink on yourself?
They're just doing a hell day in the middle of the show.
That ring that he's standing in is actually Steve's ring.
Which one's broken?
Steve's ring.
Okay.
They probably fixed it by then.
Gotcha.
Oh! And so these shows would happen on what, Wednesday nights?
Thursdays.
Thursday nights. So, like, now that would feel crazy to us. That would be out of our normalcy. I guess you didn't know that it was odd. Not odd. I know that's not the right word, but like you didn't have a normal. Like this just was normal. So wrestling in the middle of the week and then going back to your regular life the next day, I guess that's not even a thing that you noticed then, right, guys?
Well, what happened with them and what continues to happen is you have the Thursday show because it's free, because you don't get paid. This is just ring time for you.
Yeah.
Because so many people have.
Oh my God!
Wait.
Double Tully Blanchard.
Wait, didn't we do a third 1 hour?
When we were at Sam Stone, we'd do Wednesdays.
Wait, when was the jungle?
The Jungle was Tuesday.
And Masquerade?
Yeah, and this was, at the time, this was show 1. Like, we'd go to pinups after at, like,
Yeah, that's what we used to do.
Oh, wow.
I remember the pinup days.
Just jumps in.
Well, we mentioned sensual dancing.
Titties.
Shut your mouths.
And then
The pinup shows was where we got paid.
Yeah.
eventually there was a show out in Alabama that started running Thursdays every week,
Rotate.
and enough of us went to it that they changed these shows to Wednesday. And so at one point I was working Wednesday through Saturday.
Good Lord. Yeah, even Montez was like, well, damn, they're just getting after it.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll see the rest of this.
Tearing the house down, brother. I'm sorry we're not doing a podcast. I'm just enjoying this match. My apologies, audience. You should be enjoying it too.
Want me to read the questions?
No, I just want to watch this match.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so
I
sorry.
thought you was about to-
Oh!
I thought you was
Oh
about
no,
to
boy,
say-
you got one more ring.
That's what they
The
call
funny
it.
thing is we teased it. We didn't do it as well as we wanted to, but we Hughes and Dave would do commentary in the ring that my back is to right now.
Ah.
And we tried to tease that we were gonna get in there because we know they'd get mad about it. But
What is
in
he?
the moment, he didn't have
Oh
to wait.
no! Is he going to do some impresses real quick?
Gotta get that pump in.
You gotta
I
get a
love
pump.
him
Don't stop.
overselling the weight of it.
I love this too. I love how so heavy it is.
That's a 600. Oh, and he dropped on your toe.
Yep.
A good spot.
Great.
It's 25. He gonna
I
do
feel
it.
like Bill cheated a little bit, guys.
How?
He picked a really good match from his early days. Like, yeah, this is one of my early matches. You know, it's whatever. I don't like everything we did. And then he just shows up with something great.
Come on.
Fucking Cloverfield worked out his camera too.
Nah, shit.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Buckner trained at WWA 4 too. I didn't know if I told you that.
So as you watch this back, Bill, how do you feel about it? Because it's fucking great.
Right.
I mean, you know, all I'm seeing is the bad stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I
get
remember.
it.
I do remember when we did it though. That I mean, I was thoroughly thrilled with it.
Do you
Like,
recall?
I enjoyed every moment of it.
Was this the main event of this show?
Second match.
Probably.
Oh, you there?
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys are killing the crowd for
For Siler and Marco.
Is that match on the queue?
No, I can't. It can't be found.
Shit. I wonder why.
The tape is again. Bill the Butcher hates the regular ring. Refuses to work in that.
Well, the other thing about it is at the school. I mean, you know, there's people
Also, that
like
is
John, and there were a bunch of flyers, and there were a bunch of
big
people like
ass
that.
ring.
So my thing was, you know, I was wild. So I stayed out a lot.
I've been in that ring. It's big as hell.
It's just too much ground to cover, brother.
20 by 20.
Brian, you need to get in there and work on that bottom rope. Is what you need to do.
Right.
That thing is loose.
Garbage.
You got an AWN thing going on there. I've been there before.
And you know the times I've been there, I remember them not doing much. There wasn't a lot of crowd work there. Was that just an effect of you guys were so young, you just hadn't got to that point yet?
Wait, you talking
Well,
about that or
also that
BSCW?
crowd. That
Dragon
crowd
Rider?
is
Nice.
yeah.
Come on,
That
Montez.
What?
Sorry, I got lost in it. That crowd is 99% friends, family. So
Yeah.
they're all, and the ones like, there was a group of like 6 that came with one of the guys that always just loved being their big, like, you know, they wanted to be snarky. And so
Yeah.
at some point,
New Japan.
I'm glad that fans aren't like that anymore.
Hey.
I know. I'm glad they grew out of that. You hate to have a bunch of those. All right. Bill the Butcher, big win now. Metal Brother, cheese Danish. All right, gang. We did it. We made it through a match. Who wants to critique Bill's match? Let's go. Let's get after it.
Don't ever call anybody a spot monkey.
It did
who,
do
me?
a lot of spots.
Yeah, she's talking to you, Ben.
Who have I ever called a spot monkey?
He didn't.
Wait, let me look at my camera.
They can see
Yeah. Who the fuck have I ever called a spot monkey?
Okay.
I mean, me and him did a lot of spots in just about every match we worked.
I mean, if it's somebody calling somebody a monkey, we know who the guilty party of that is here.
You
Allegedly,
and her. She's racist.
This is empty.
See?
Yeah, no,
Through this
I'll always
section.
be. Wrestling's a performance. I'm always okay with it. I mean, you know, to a point. But
I mean,
I don't think I've ever called anyone a spot monkey.
I would have loved to have seen a German trade-off, though. That was the one thing I felt was missing from
Shut
this match.
the fuck up.
Oh, shit. So, Bill, after this point, what we just saw, you know, you're 3 years in, what do you think that you desperately needed to improve on after watching this?
I mean, a lot of stuff. I still, like, even this deep in, I still had Happy Feet a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I also did the thing where I was like, okay, well, I figured it out, so let's do other things. Like, let's do all the crazy stuff now. I don't have to worry about the basics.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that, and I had to come back to that. Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing I would say. And the crowd work thing is true. I wouldn't say here I needed to do it because that crowd isn't worth working at.
Right.
But like that was something that I needed work on, and I would say still do.
Oh my God, it's so hard to do a podcast with three maniacs in the room with you, because one's just wearing a train conductor's hat and pretending he's about to do a running splash in the corner, and the sound of the choo-choo.
Is that
Choo-choo means that we are wrapping this thing up. Thank you so much for joining us, gang. Next time on Wrasslemen, a Whoopcast, we are going to look at Brian versus Jeter. Which is going to be
a minute.
Yeah, Brian, I know how to edit videos.
You could have just watched it at the end of the day.
I've already edited the videos together. I think we're going to see one of my early matches as well. So that should be a real fucking hoot. Anybody got any parting shots that they want to get out?
Like pop shots?
Whatever.
Shooting on each other?
Sure. Oh, Jesus Christ. Grandpa's at roast ready.
Hey, did Grandpa give you a match?
The roast is done. No, I don't have a match.
I did go look for. I actually went to look for that DSCW match, but I can't find. I can't find any links to it. But I'm sure I can go hustle some of them. I don't have anything from Nina either, so we got to go doing that. And then I think the week after that.
Elbow.
Yeah, I say we can see that elbow again.
And I think the week after that, we're gonna do 2 brawl matches, which should be very exciting. And then we will get back on schedule with our PCW watch. And as always, though, folks, we cannot leave on our own accord. This has been the Wrasslemen, a Whoopcast. Tiger Mask, take us home.